Welcome into another video, and this one's targeted more out for the newer players of fantasy football. What players do you draft in fantasy football? Now, the biggest question is what type of league you're playing in. Let's just start with something called an IDP league, an individual player type of league, individual defensive player league. Those you end up drafting your defensive linemen, your linebackers, and your secondary normally in that league as well. But in most leagues you fall in, whether it's a redraft league, a dynasty league, a keeper league, you're drafting some basic positions. First position you're going to be looking at is the quarterback position. There's two types of leagues for these quarterbacks, right? In a regular, kind of pro bono type of league, there's one quarterback. In what's called a super flex league, now you have two quarterbacks. It's, whatever you want to do as far as whatever your cup of tea is. I know me, myself, I play in a lot of one quarterback leagues, but I know here lately Superflex is really the wave. A lot of people are playing those two quarterbacks. They're very valuable. Usually they score the most fantasy points for your team, so you definitely want to target a decent quarterback. I know some players may like to draft quarterbacks a little bit earlier. Some people do the late quarterbacks. It's totally up to you. I know we have other videos on this channel to help you decide how many quarterbacks to have on your league or on your team, how early to draft quarterbacks. Just go ahead and look through the library and check out all of my quarterback videos. The next one would be the running back position. Running back positions are very valuable as well. It's a very high injury type position. You see more injuries out of the running back position than any other position in fantasy football. That's why they are so coveted. It's a risk reward if you want to take one in the first round of the draft, because if your first round running back gets hurt, your team is going to be hurting throughout the season. Normally you start between two running backs in any given team. And then you have more running backs if you have flex spots as well. So the other positions here, we're going wide receiver. A lot of times in most leagues, you'll start either 2 wide receivers or 3 wide receivers. And again, you can start more based on if you have something called a flex position. In most flex positions, you can start either a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end in that, unless it's a super flex league where you normally put a quarterback in that super flex position. The other position that I want to talk about is the tight end position. This is more seldom. There's not a lot of really great tight ends in fantasy football. You may have a handful of studs. Some people like to draft them really, really early to kind of get a head up on the competition. Some people wait till the end of the draft to draft their tight end. It's whatever kind of cup of tea you want to be drinking. It's totally up to you. Some other positions, we're talking about the kicker position. I know a lot of leagues are starting to cancel out the kicker position because of so much variance in the kickers. One day he may score 0, the other day he may be scoring 20 points because he kicked a bunch of 50-yard field goals. Totally up to you. The last position I want to talk about is the defense. Usually it's a defense or a defense/ST, which is special teams as well. So if they do like a kick return for a touchdown, interception, pick 6 for a touchdown, every time they get a sack, things like that, you can score points as an entire defensive unit. It doesn't matter who on that defense or special teams makes the play, you're going to get points for that. There's all types of different leagues. You just have to make sure you find out what league you're playing in and look at the rule set of how you get points, right? There's full scoring leagues. There's PPR, which is point per reception league. There's half PPR, which is a half point per reception league. They have the standard leagues. We're talking about quarterbacks. There could be some quarterbacks throwing for 4 points if they throw for a touchdown, or some that gets 6 points for passing touchdown. Every league is going to be different. You just have to make sure you scour your rules and make sure you are best prepared to dominate that entire league. Guys, this is just a quick video to tell you guys a little bit about what positions that you should be drafting in fantasy football, especially if you're new. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Really helps out the channel quite a bit. Make sure you hit a like and leave a comment down below. What do you guys do? When did you guys start playing fantasy football? Are you new to fantasy football? Let me know to the comments in below. I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.